welcome. A warm welcome to our distinguished Toastmasters, our esteemed guests, our special guest this evening, our Art Talk guest, Dr. Diane Dreher. Welcome to Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club. Happy New Year 2023. This year at Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, we welcome everyone to continue attending our thrilling and exciting meetings. We trust that everyone will be fulfilled this year as you pursue your goals. Do not plan your goals, plan your New Year's resolution, and mid-year forget about it. Let us all try to remember what we plan to do for the new year, and let us all try to achieve those goals. We look forward to working along with you and ensure that everyone comes out smiling at the end of our Toastmasters year, which is the end of June 2023. I would like to also recite a quote. New Monday, new week. Let nothing stop you from reaching your goal. Very interesting. And this evening, our meeting under the theme Renaissance. We look forward to this exciting meeting this evening and everything that will come in a new beginning with Renaissance 2023. At this point, Toastmasters and guests, I would like to recite the Toastmasters Promise. As a member of the Toastmasters International and Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to keep the club and maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. A very important part of our meeting, which Toastmaster International would always like us to recite before our meeting begins. Without further ado, Toastmasters and guests, this evening we have a very exciting and effervescent Toastmaster of the evening. A distinguished Toastmaster at that, Toastmaster Esther Germany. But before I introduce her, I would like to say a little something. Esther Germany discovered Toastmasters International in 2007 when she was living in Los Angeles. She was then a member of District 1. She served as the Vice President Education at her very first officer's role, then became President Distinguished Area Director for the year 2009 to 2010. Coming back to the Caribbean, She joined the only Toastmasters Club of Martinique, Club Eloquence 972, and is part of District 81 ever since. She is also part of the Advanced Leaders Beyond Borders Club. She is currently living in French Guiana, where as a civil servant, she helps secondary school students drive into the English language as their second language. Distinguished Toastmaster Esther is also a member of Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, and she's also my mentor, with whom I'm very pleased. Having achieved her Distinguished Toastmasters Award, she had to organize different events within Toastmasters, such as area contests, open houses, and outside Toastmasters, she was vice president of EMMA, English Meeting Martinique Association, organizing fun events for lovers of the English language. She enjoys life, loves horse riding and sailing. She's inspired by other people's growth. Her favorite quote is, "Eat, drink, and be merry." As simple as that. Or shoot for the moon. If you miss, you will land among the stars. Les Brown. She currently lives in French Guiana, where Toastmasters is not yet established, but thanks to the recent change, she can follow her club meetings through Zoom. Please help me welcome Distinguished Toastmaster.
Yay, welcome.
Aha. No. Aha. I guess it's my time to be on. You're hearing me? I'm not hearing you. A resounding round of applause for our president. Resounding? Is that resounding? I'm not sure. Because this is exactly what you will have to do all along, all during the night. Toastmaster of the evening. With this, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Good evening, Dr. Diane Dreher, dignitaries and all fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's my utmost pleasure to be there with you and then to guide you as my TMO rule is expected of. Renaissance, you've heard it, Renaissance. From that's a period where activities, growth, what's going on. And the French me will tell you Renaissance. And you have it right there in the name, Renaissance, meaning rebirth. But it's Renaissance 2023. Meaning you, what will you renew to? Because in that period of Renaissance, it was in the 14th to the 17th century. At that time, people just forget about the Middle Age. They were focusing on human, the man in action, per se. Like people were doing a lot of things in art, literature, music, and you name it. Meaning, what about you? What will you do? You. There's not talking about you in 2023. It's your time to have a renaissance. So as we go along through the program, I will maybe give you some food for thought of in what area you could renew. Will it be art, literature, music? Who knows? Because one thing that you have to know, that time, it was when print was made and we could make the books and science, new things, new ideas, new everything Renew, people, renew. So let's go, be ready to renew tonight in 2023. And think about it already. How will you renew? In what area will you renew in 2023? With no further ado, I love to hear that. No further ado, let's go right on into the program of tonight. And with that, I would like to call our very own Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster. Distinguished Toastmaster Johnny Levaluta, and she will tell us all about it. Madam General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Johnny Leblanc, the floor is yours. Resounding, people, resounding.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Renaissance, rebirth. As stated by our Toastmaster of the evening, this is the time when we revitalize for the new year. Now, for those who are like me, who the winter months really do not take very good care, it may be hard to revitalize until somewhere around March. However, it's always good to prepare during your hibernation season. Now, the beauty of Toastmasters is we evaluate to motivate or to revitalize the human spirit, keeping that in mind. As a general evaluator, I will be evaluating this meeting. However, I will not be doing this. I do have a team who will be assisting me in doing so. For the first member of my team, our timer, Asha K. Thompson, please explain your.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. It's the Renaissance. Are you ready to revitalize your time with time? Well, I'm here to guide you along that journey. I'm going to make sure that everybody keep in check with their time. Now I will be displaying time cards that will be shown on my screen. And for our art talk, I see that we have a total of 15 minutes. So you're going to pay attention to my time card, and the times will be depicted by the color of my card. And at 13 minutes, that is to Dr. Dreher. At 13 minutes, you will see the green card. Then when you have gone to 40 minutes, you will see the yellow card. And when you're at 15 minutes and it's time to wrap up, you will see the red card. For our other speakers, I see that we have 2 7-minute speeches. You will see the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. And the segment for the table topics will also be timed. Our table topic speakers are encouraged to ensure that they speak for a maximum of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the times will be for 1 minute, you will see the yellow card, and at 1 minute and 30 seconds, at 1 minute, you'll see the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, you'll see the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you will see the red card. Please pay attention to my screen because you have the opportunity to revitalize your time with time. Over to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, Madam Timer, for so eloquently revitalizing us with an idea of what the timer at Toastmasters meeting does. The next functionary who will be assisting me in our Renaissance journey is our accountant. Toastmaster, you're sweet. Please let us know.
My name is Yashid, and today I am the accountant. As noted earlier, I am going to be taking note of words that are used to crutch or pause filler. As you could note a little earlier, Joni said, ah, which is one of the words I'll be recording for tonight. My job will be to record well, you, but, you know, and I'll be listening for repeated statements such as I, this means, at the end of the meeting. I will take a detailed report of each word used and I will express it in the meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator Joni Laidlaw.
My apologies. We all know names are my Achilles heel. And don't worry, say it enough times. Hopefully it will stick. Thank you, our co-author, for so eloquently explaining the role. The last member of my team who will be explained here today is Madam Grammarian, Distinguished Toastmaster Shelley-Ann Connor. What does the grammarian?
Whenever we speak, whether in casual conversation, making a presentation, professional or otherwise, we want to know that what we are saying is being said in the best way. We want to know that persons are not focusing on the things that we are not doing right. And so our message becomes missing. So in this way, we'll have a renaissance of the language of how we go, of where we go. And that's my job. As your grammarian, I'm your partner on your language journey. It is my task and pleasure to monitor what you say, how you say it, and to point out the ways in which you did it well and the ways which you need to improve. Now, of course, if it is that you're going to be speaking, one of the things that you need to have at your disposal is a variety of words. So my task also involves helping you to build that vocabulary with the introduction of a word of the day. Today's word of the day is revitalize. Now, revitalize is a verb, and what it really means, quite simply, is to restore something to life or give it new life. And an example of it is many people use the beginning of the new year as a time to revitalize their goals. I want to encourage you to use it as often as you can, each of you that will speak. And my challenge for this meeting is that you're able to use the word of the day at least 10 times. So your challenge is 10 times for this meeting. I will be back when called upon to do so to give my report. Back over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. And since Madam Grammarian has given us a charge, what I'm going to ask to make sure she doesn't miss any of the 10. When we hear the word of the day said, we throw up our celebration icon, which will ensure that even if she missed it, she'll see that we did it. 10 out of 10 as platinum distinguished club points appeared last year, hopefully with a redo this year. 10 times will be our use of the word of the day. My team and I will return at the end of the meeting to, along with our speech evaluators, will round up to complete the result. I now return control of the virtual space for this.
Resounding round of applause. Is that resounding? Not yet, not as yet. Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, why are you looking so far for the first clue? Don't look too far. Madam General Evaluator and her whole team just gave you the first clues, the first set of clues for your renaissance in 2023. Well, do better in your time. Do better in your language. You have a challenge tonight 10 times. Yes, you're right to say that, Madam Grammarian. 10 is not even enough. 10 times. And then have a Renaissance also in your arms, saying it less. This is the very first set of clues for your Renaissance. Yeah, hold on, we'll go in the big stuff afterwards. And as our tradition here at PTAC, Platinum Toastmaster Club, we have the art talk. Well, it's the time for the Toastmaster for us to welcome our speaker for the art talk, which is none other than Dr. Diane Dreyer. Oh, you know it. I'll not keep the mystery much longer, but I'll say a few words though. She has a PhD, you said, you know that, a best-selling author, researcher, and positive psychology coach. She has written many books, and for foreigners, multilingual people like me, well, then it was translated into 10 languages. So there's one for you, that's for sure. She has had a lot of honors, and she has, in the Renaissance English literature from UCLA, as well, she has a master's degrees in counseling. She's a professional certified coach with the International Coaching Federation. She's professor, emeritus, and associate director of the Applied Spirituality Institute at Santa Clara University. She's also a lecturer in the Positive Psychology Guild in the United Kingdom. And if I had more time, I would tell you some more secrets. But then I would let that up to her. Probably she will tell you one line that is not written out there when you're searching for her bio. But it is my utmost pleasure for Toastmasters to welcome Dr. Diane Dreyer. A resounding round of applause. Resounding, remember, resounding.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster. I really appreciate it. And what is really fascinating to me is that the whole theme of today is the Renaissance, the revitalization of our creative abilities to change the world, to make a positive difference in the world, to bring greater light to the world in 2023. What's interesting is that my last book was called Your Personal Renaissance. I'm writing a new book now, but Your Personal Renaissance was based on what we learned from distinguished Toastmaster Esther Germany and others, is that in the Middle Ages, for a long, long time, people believed that only priests, monks, and nuns had a special calling from God to do something significant with their lives. And everybody else just worked to survive, to make a living, to have food and shelter, until something amazing happened. And all of Western Europe was revitalized by the sense that not only priests, monks, and nuns were given special gifts by God, but every single man and woman was given a special set of gifts or strengths, and it was their duty and their destiny to use them to serve the Lord and one another. So believing that they had special gifts, special talents, people started looking within themselves and noticing this. We have a young man whose parents were illiterate, who signed their names with an X, growing up in the English countryside, who found his calling on the London stage as William Shakespeare. Imagine the generation gap there. He believed he could do it. He believed he had special gifts. We have an artist, Michelangelo, growing up in Italy, whose father wanted him to be a cloth merchant to bring money into the family. And His father would beat him when Michelangelo was a little boy, whenever he caught the boy drawing pictures, saying, "This is worthless behavior. It will never amount to anything." But fortunately for him and for all of us, Michelangelo persevered, brought forth his talents, his abilities, and created great beauty for the world. So believing that we all have been given special gifts, that we're all unique creations, given gifts by God, that each one of us has something special to offer, something unique within us. That, more than anything else in the world, created the Renaissance. And then, of course, we have the invention of the printing press in 1450, so that books became available. We have telescopes, so that Galileo looked up and noticed something about the stars, which changed our vision of the cosmos. So there was this complete explosion of knowledge, greater light to the world, brought forward by people who believed that they had special gifts to offer. So I am inspired to be here today and have something to share with you about moving from being reactive to being creative. Because I believe that creativity is essential to our humanity. There are other life forms on this planet that can fly higher, run faster, do all kinds of things more than we can. But we are the human beings we are the ones who can create something that never was. As Robert Kennedy once said, most people look at things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and say, why not? A creative soul dreams of things that never were and makes those things possible. So today, from being reactive to externals to becoming creative and bringing forth that which is within us to transform our lives and the world. Creative and reactive. If I had a whiteboard, I'd put those two words in front of you and show you that these words look almost identical. They have the same letters, and yet they're total opposites. As artists, writers, musicians, and people striving for our highest potential, as Toastmasters, and as citizens of the world in 2023, we need to lead the way from being reactive to creative, to helping our beautiful but troubled planet become revitalized. So let's look at being reactive, which means reacting to externals with chronic stress, living in survival mode, reacting to a perceived threat with fight, flight, or freeze. Now, in an emergency, this reaction serves us well. We can jump out of the way of a speeding car or run away from an animal that's trying to attack us. But most of the time, these things are not what stresses us. And stress becomes chronic, just rushing from one thing to the next, feeling overwhelmed by the news, having problems at work. We can't run away from these things. Fight, flight, or freeze doesn't work. And what happens when we're chronically stressed is that our attention narrows, our immune system and digestive system shut down, cortisol flows through our bodies, leading to increased inflammation and the risk of serious disease. And chronic stress shuts down our higher brain centers, blocking our ability to create, to see new possibilities, to make a difference. We become anxious and defensive. We worry, we ruminate, but we do not create. Okay, that's depressing. So moving from reactive to creative. Being creative means moving from living to survive to thrive. Research in positive psychology shows us that positive emotions such as love, joy, and awe can broaden and build our personal resources. How does this work? University of North Carolina researcher Barbara Fredrickson has found that positive emotions and personal connections can strengthen our immune systems, broaden our perspectives, build our personal resources, and help us create new possibilities. Connecting with a loved one, of course, does this. She's written a book called Love 2.0, which explains her whole research finding. So connecting with someone we love obviously fills us with joy, love, meaning, a sense of expansiveness. That's wonderful. But Fredrickson has also found that we also benefit from what she calls micro moments of connectivity, simple gestures of kindness and connection, which can involve waving to a neighbor, smiling at the grocery store clerk, or connecting with a group of like-minded individuals, as in Toastmasters today. The sense of human connection revitalizes us, brings us from being reactive to creative, makes us aware that we have so much to offer, restores our faith in ourselves and our possibilities. That's one researcher. Then there's another researcher, New York University researcher Jonathan Haidt, who's found that experiencing a sense of elevation in response to someone we admire increases our altruism, connects us to our deepest values, and inspires us to moral action, inspires us to make a difference. And in my country, we are celebrating today Martin Luther King Day, who inspired a lot of people to live a greater dream of possibilities, a greater dream of connectedness, of care, consideration, and justice for all. So we have another researcher, Dacher Keltner, who is at the University of California, Berkeley. And he studied altruism and awe, the sense of wonder and expansiveness when we look up at the sky at a beautiful sunset. He actually had students do an awe experiment where they would look up at a tall building on campus, or they'd look up at these Tasmanian eucalyptus trees which towered over the campus. And the students who looked up at the building, nothing much. The students who looked up at those eucalyptus trees experienced a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty of nature. And they were also more altruistic. Researchers do tricky things. This one dropped a box of pens and they flew all over the ground. And the students who had experienced awe helped the researcher pick them up. So they were more considerate, more altruistic. Again, awe changes us. Being connected to people changes us. Being inspired by people we admire changes us. And my Santa Clara University colleague, Dave Feldman, and I found that in our research, that simply writing down our goals, something to remember for 2023, with 3 steps to achieve them, and then thinking of 3 roadblocks that might get in the way, 1 for each step, and then thinking of something we could do to overcome that obstacle. So they goal, step, roadblock, and then something to overcome the obstacle. And they all this, our student participants had to write all these things down. And then we led them in a brief meditation in which they closed their eyes and they felt a sense of joy as they took each step, overcame each roadblock, moved forward, and then breathed in the feeling of accomplishment, reaching their goals. Well, what we found was that the students who did this instead of some other kind of sham experiments, we also had a control where they just sat and felt relaxed during the same time. Those who experienced this hope intervention achieved their goals more than any of the other students in the group. And they also felt greater hope about their futures, about their sense of possibility. And our study only took 90 minutes, which is about what we are doing today, right, in Toastmasters. It was not very long that they just did this brief little, write down the goal, write down the steps, write down obstacles, write down something they could do to overcome them, and then close their eyes and visualize goals. There's something very powerful in visualizing our goals with a sense of joy. So we can experience positive emotions in nature, with people around us, in great works of art, and visualizing our dreams. The point is to experience this sense of joy and possibility regularly, like taking spiritual vitamins. Positive emotions can help us become healthier, happier, more creative, and more hopeful. And our world today is filled with so much dark and distressing news. What we need is greater light, greater creativity, and greater hope. As creative individuals in this Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, you hold out the light for a new renaissance for all of us in the year ahead. So I thank you for listening to my presentation, and I look forward to hearing the rest of this wonderful Toastmasters response.
Thank you, Dr. Diane Dreyer. A resounding round of applause, fellow Toastmasters. A resounding round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. What I'm taking there is like, we have to move from being reactive to creative. Reactive, our immune system is down, and we're just not happy, we're in survival mode. Versus creative, well, strengthen our immune system, joy, and then we just live. So fellow Toastmaster, when do you do that? When do we choose life over sadness or just death maybe sometimes? Well, this is where we are there. Thank you so much, Dr. Diane Dreyer. And maybe one day we'll go and look at the sunset together. One of us, all of you fellow Toastmasters. You need to live. That's what we do. Then that was the second set of your Renaissance in 2023. I tell you, you don't have to go and look far. So that's it. Why wouldn't you choose creativity, but move to another level? We are all creatives already. But what about being higher? While you think about it, let me just call Toastmaster Bowen, Françoise Bowen, to give some feedback to our art speaker, Dr. Diane Dreyer. Toastmaster Françoise Bowen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. We have two votes. I was wondering whether you meant Clive or Françoise, but you mean Clive. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters.
Françoise.
Yes, which of us do you mean?
Toastmaster Françoise. Toastmaster.
Okay.
I said it in French, sorry, pardon my French.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Dr. Dreyer, what a wonderful, informative, insightful presentation. I must admit something here, even to my fellow Toastmasters at Platinum Artistic. The theme at the Antigua Toastmasters Club is create thirst for your growth. And listening to what you have delivered clearly falls in line with our 6-month focus for the Toastmaster calendar year. One of the things you highlighted in your example is given the difference of being reacting and creative. So we must move from being reactive to creative. And when you spoke about reacting to external threats, it is so
like us. I know I use the word so, but I'm going to express it. It is so like us. When something is happening, we react. Oh my gosh, what's happening? The world is ending. Ah! Instead of breathing, relaxing, and just take a moment. And majority of the times when we just take that moment to look through the cloud that is before us, we then realize we need to be much more mature to the situation at hand. One of the things you highlighted, which I really enjoyed, was when you're being creative, it must be positive. Connect with someone we love. Benefit in the moment. Smiling, hey, waving. We all go to the grocery store. And a lot of times when we're at the cashier, we like to interact with the cashiers. It happens. How was your day? And just listening to that and hearing their response, sometimes you're able to give them a beautiful aha moment to help brighten their day. Or sometimes there is someone that is close to them that needs an encouragement, but because of the information you shared with them, they're able to take it back. Write the goals in 3 blocks. Now, who knew that you should write the step, the roadblock, and something to overcome that roadblock? All of us are guilty of. It's a new year. This is what I'm going to achieve. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. So I'm going to look like supermodel. We all write it down and then we forget the stumbling block. I love to eat my chocolate Twix, which is my favorite. I love my Oreo cookies. I love and forgetting I need to fast as well if I need to shred that pound. So what are the roadblocks? I need to find the solution to the roadblock. Thank you so much, Dr. Drea. Your presentation hit all the angles. Our emotions contribute to our well-being. It may be health or it may be a bad health. Thank you for outlining everything to us. And we have taken away a lot of aha moments that we will use in our personal and professional life. Thank you for a well, healthy presentation at Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club. Back over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Françoise. What if I try to say today? Françoise Bowen. Thank you for your kind feedback to Toastmaster, to Dr. Diane Drea. Resounding, was that resounding? I'm not sure. Resounding, people, resounding. Oh, yes, okay, thank you very much. And yes, look for the crowds. Look for the clouds. I love that. And we should pass the clouds, and behind them, you might have your third clue. Why not revitalizing your reading skills? Why not doing that for 2023 and read that very first book? You had it, your personal renaissance. 12 steps to finding your life's true calling. Yes, fellow Toastmasters, our dear Dr. Diane Drea, she said that we have a special gift within ourselves. So we just have to go for it. So I would invite you. Well, it's a clue, it's a clue, it's a clue. It's up to you. Think about it. Maybe revitalizing your reading skills, starting with this one this year. Well, up to you. You tell me at the end. Shall you? So we continue. And I would like to call Toastmaster Eric Walcott as we are about to receive our first speaker, but then her evaluator, Toastmaster Eric Walcott, will tell us about a little bit more about the objectives of her speech. Toastmaster Eric Walcott, the floor is all yours.
I'm not seeing Toastmaster
Result.
on the
Oh, he's
platform
not
as a
here?
Toastmaster of the day, but as a Toastmaster wears many hats, I will be
Uh-huh.
stepping for Toastmaster Mary and have her
Oh,
evaluate.
well, thank you so much.
Toastmaster Mary Brooks will be doing her level 1, project 2 in evaluation and feedback. How are we going to revitalize an already given speech? Well, Toastmaster Mary gave the speech last year at Platinum Artistics Toastmasters Club and was given a few suggestions. For example, utilize vocal variety, some gestures, and as such, she was to take this feedback, incorporate it, and re-give the speech. Now, she could have chosen to do a brand new speech, but she took on the challenge to redo a speech already done. Now, in her attempt at a renaissance of an already presented idea, here to revitalize her speech, I now turn over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Mary Bruce, the floor is all yours. As we can see you as yet.
Yes.
And
Wow.
now, yes.
Okay. Good evening. Can everybody hear me? Because I think this is one of the days I'm having some issues with my video. So everybody can hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and friends. First of all, let me just wish everybody a very good holiday. I hope everybody had some good holidays and some well-deserved rest, because I had some well-deserved rest. So thank you for the opportunity for letting me do the speech over. And the name of my speech this evening is A Beetle in My Ear. It's just a witty little topic that I'm saying everybody is talking about Christmas and New Year's and so on. I say, let me talk about a witty topic. And it's also about experience that I had with a beetle in my ear. Okay, one evening coming from work, I'm just walking into my bedroom and I just feel a zoom. So I'm wondering, I thought it was, a fly in my ear, because I've had 2 experiences with a fly getting into my ear. But one of the first things I normally do when these things happen is use a strong smelling substance in the air. And it attracts the fly out, and so the fly just flies out. But this time it was just not to be. So this insect is in my ear. I'm thinking it's an insect, but it wasn't an insect. In the end, we got to find out it was a beetle. So I tried everything, nothing was happening, but it was becoming more intense because the beetle is trying to get out, but it's not getting out. So it's buzzing in my ear now, making noise in my ear, dancing around, jumping around, and it's becoming more uncomfortable. So what I did, I called out to my son. I'm telling him, I have something in my ear. I don't know what it is, it's a fly or something. And he's telling me, well, mommy, but I don't have the answers for that. So it didn't help me. So what I did, I said, you know what, let me go and lie down for a little while. Maybe if I sleep, I will not feel the pain again. So gone and lie down, more pain and more pain. But then all of a sudden, after a while, I didn't feel the beetle. That means the beetle died in my ear and lodged at the bottom of my ear. So you still had the pain, but at least it wasn't dancing in the air. So, you have to have an operation now to take out this beetle from my ear. No ear doctor in the evening, so you have to wait for the next day. So the next day, I called the doctor's office. I think it's only one ear doctor we have in St. Lucia. I don't know of another one. Not of another one. Call the doctor. He's not in his main office in Castries. For those of us who doesn't know St. Lucia, he's not in his main office at the Tapia Hospital. He is in office in Vieux Fort. That means I have to travel 1 hour to get to him. So I spoke to the secretary. She alerted him that I was coming out to Vieux Fort. And whilst I was driving down to before, not driving, but I did a park and ride because if that kind of pain, you cannot drive. So I spoke to the bus driver and told him, well, I need to get to doctor's office, the doctor's office, because I have a problem in my ear. You know, trying to fast forward the man to drive faster, but you cannot do that to a driver. They have other people on the bus. So I'm on the bus, and apparently I was groaning on the bus with all that pain. So a lady asked me, my lady, are you okay? So I said, no, I'm not okay. I have a foreign matter in my ear, and it's really, really hurting me. So she started to feel sorry for me, but I was feeling sorry. There was nothing she could have done. I had to see the doctor. Anyway, when I arrived at the doctor's office, there were 2 infant patients before me. So I had to let them go, 2 babies to let them go. Then it was my turn to go to the doctor. By the time I got into the doctor's office, the doctor realized, oh boy, that is in a lot of pain. So I told him what was wrong, what had happened. And he said, are you sure it's a beetle that's in your ear? Are you sure it's a fly that's in your ear? I said, doctor, I don't know if it's a fly or a beetle, but I know I have a foreign matter in my ear and it's lodged in my ear. And right now my ear is heavy. So he said, don't worry, Miss Bruce. So I sat down, operation time now. Doctor never numbed the ear. So he starts to drill in my ear. The ear that's already using it. Drill in my ear, drill, about a good 3 to 4 minutes drill. But I wanted that foreign matter to come out so much, I just had to. So eventually he got to the insect, whatever was in my ear. When he pulled it out, he said, and he put it on a piece of paper on his desk, and he's telling me, but that's a beetle that was in your ear, Miss Bruce. And it had already died, but it still had its tentacles and its legs and so on. And he's telling me, he told me that the beetle would never fly out because with the tentacles and the legs got stuck in the wax in my ear. So it would never come out on its own. So I said, well, thank God, as soon as he removed the beetle in my ear, I got a relief. Got a relief from the beetle in my ear, from the heaviness in my ear, but not from the drilling. So anyway, I still had quite a lot of pain. So what he gave me some antibiotics. And he said that I had to come back after maybe a week so that the ear could heal after the ear is healed. I'm saying all this to, well, I told my experiences to many, many people, and some people tell me, oh yes, I've had that experience, not with a beetle, but with a fly. So I'm saying all this so that if anything gets into your ear, it may not be a fly, maybe more than a fly, and use the substance, the strong smelling substance that you use so that the fly could fly out. But this time it was not a fly, it was a beetle. So that was a very terrifying experience. A little insect causing me so much pain and so much trouble to go and get it out, and so much money to pay to get it out. Okay. But anyway, I was happy that I was able to get the doctor and he was able to remove that beetle in my ear. So as of now, I don't want to see no beetle flying around me, but no beetle flying around me, no fly flying around me. I'm always so kind of observant, looking to see whether anything will get into my ear. That was the experience, the beetle in my ear. Thank you very much for listening to me. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary Bruce. A resounding round of applause. Yes, we know how to do it now. We're almost halfway. All right, thank you. Toastmaster Mary Bruce, please don't go around killing all the beetles of the world, please. We still need them. but for sure, they will not bother you anymore. I hope so. I hope not. So as we move along in our program, it's time for you to call the second evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Carla Andrea Isaac. As she will tell us about our second speaker's path and objectives. The distinguished Toastmaster Carla Isaac, the floor is all yours.
Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster S. Germany, you made me laugh by calling me distinguished Toastmaster Carla. Nonetheless, the purpose of Toastmaster Junique Paul's presentation this evening is to present on a project. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify her primary leadership styles or style. The second aspect of the project is for her to deliver a speech and to share some aspect of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Her topic is My Journey. Toastmaster Janique Paul, I wish you all the best as you present this evening on My Journey. Toastmaster of the meeting, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Carla Isaac and Toastmaster Janique Paul. The floor is all yours. Is she here? I think it look as if I cannot see her. Madam Mentor, is your mentee here?
I didn't see her.
No, yeah, it looks like I'm not seeing her. Oh, yes, she's here. Oh, I can see her device though. Toastmaster Janique Paul. Ooh. Let me call her another time. Toastmaster Janique Paul. I was tempted to say going once, but no. We'll just allow her some more time, and which will permit me to do something there.
Having some technical difficulties.
Technical issues.
It appears she may be having some technical difficulties, so may I suggest moving on?
Will she be on or?
I am seeing her device on, but I'm not.
Yes, that's what I
seeing her.
see.
Yeah, she's responding.
Okay. Okay, let me just share another clue with our fellow Toastmaster. Well, probably if you could call her, who knows, she will be able to answer the call, and then after that, we'll know in which way we're going. Yeah? Is this possible, Mr. Toastmaster Johnny?
Sure.
Sorry? Sure, okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, all right, so let's do that. So bear with me while I roll my logo. I just want to share my screen. That's what I'm doing. Can you discuss this? Just if you were wondering.
We are hearing the music.
You are. Pressing on the button, pressing on it. A little second of the Renaissance music, and I see that Master Janique is here.
I need to walk in the feet. Issues and the one goal. I take time to know you are and don't have to learn it. And to me, and allow it to do like I allow leadership to guide me. How do you tell my leadership style? I did that first question myself for 3 minutes reading.
Toastmaster Johnny,
No,
don't mean to interrupt you.
how
Your technical
difficulties.
difficulties.
My response was
Yes.
everything you
Toastmaster Johnny Cole, I'm so sorry, but it's just that it happened that we're not hearing you clearly or good enough to appreciate your speech. Is there anything that you can do on your end at this time to have it better, or can you hear me? By the way, Toastmaster Johnny Cole.
She's having technical problems, so I think perhaps we should just move on to the next item.
Okay. Yes, we shall do that, but then.
And when she has corrected her issues,
yes,
we'll probably have her on back on.
Yeah. In the meantime, distinguished Toastmaster Johnny, can you liaise with Toastmaster Johnny Cole in order to resolve the problem? So we'll have a better sound and appreciate better her speech. Yeah, this is the main thing, you know. Yes, yes, yes. So why she's being revitalized with this issue somehow, trying to place the word. No, but sorry. Let's move swiftly along. And then, fellow Toastmasters, it's time for you to renew in a traditional way, you know already, table topics. One might say, how will I renew in table topics? Of course you can. Who said you couldn't? Huh? Renaissance, it's about new growth, new everything. So you can do that in table topics. Maybe you can do it a little better, a little longer, a little about answering more to the question. But anyway, I leave the floor to Toastmaster Juvens. Bear with me, Toastmaster Juvens, if I pronounce it wrong. Juvens Mukombi. Toastmaster Juvens Mukombi, the floor is all yours. Great song.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Yes, that's how you pronounce my name in Creole, so you did a good job. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Today I'll be the table topic master. And as you know, the theme is Renaissance, so I'm going to give you some questions that's going to align with the theme of the day. You have 2 minutes to get an opportunity to share your thoughts on the topics that I will provide to each and every one of you that choose to take the opportunity. As you know, this is a great chance to revitalize what is already inside of you. So I encourage everyone to don't be afraid to volunteer and take on the challenge of improving as an impromptu speaker. So now I'll be calling upon individuals that are not a part of the actual meeting to get a chance to be a part of the meeting. So is there any volunteers that want to take on the first questions? Any volunteers?
Let's have the question first.
Start with the question first? Okay, I haven't done that before. All right. Give me 1 second. I will share the first question. Or it's going to be a quote. All right. The first quote is, you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him to find it for himself. by Galileo Galilei. Who would like to take that first question? You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him to find it for himself. Any volunteers?
I will take it since I was the one to change your order.
Excellent. All right, you may now take the virtual lecture when you're ready.
You can only teach a man, you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find what it is. I believe that that is true because education as another education were the filling of a vessel, then the learner would be inactive, would be passive, and you would just be filling up a vessel. But because it's the kindling of a flame, it means that you have to create action with material that is already present. You're going to bring a spark that will cause it to take over a life of its own. I give you another quote too. Mae West says, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. When we put these two things together, we'll realize that those of us who live in inertia, we're just drifting along, we can't be doing it right. And so we're going to end up with a life that has no value to ourselves or to anyone else. But when we do as Mae West says, think that we do it right, and we only get to do it once. That is really true. We all live one life. I don't think we return as a lizard next time or as a crocodile or something. So we live really only once. And when we do it right, then certainly we get it right. We live a life that is meaningful. Now, this said, we understand that every day is a moment. We live moments of our lives. And if we should let them count for something. If we have no purpose, then we will have no value. So the first thing to do is to find ourselves, to find a purpose and to pursue it. And that way, we certainly will live a fruitful life. But you cannot do it for somebody else. You can say to someone, well, what are you doing here? Why are you alive? Why are you among the living? Can I help you know who you are? And when we do that, then certainly we should see that we cannot live it for a person. We can only help the person to find it. And so we must find ourselves by the same means. Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Topics Master, I return control to you.
Thank you. That was a great job. I love that you use a quote to clarify your points and give us more vivid of your thoughts. Great job. Now I'm gonna show my second quote. So volunteers, be ready. Genius is eternal patience by Michelangelo. Genius is eternal patience. Who would like to take this one? If I have no, I will choose an individual. Karen Kennedy, would you like to take the second quote? Karen Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
No problem.
Genius is patience. This is what the quote said. Genius is patience.
I'll show it to you again.
Genius is eternal patience. I can aspire this quote to myself in that I have been a Toastmaster for quite some time. And this journey, my Toastmaster journey, I sat back most of the time and watched the brave at heart deliberate and present and go forward on their Toastmaster journey. And then when I had the chance and I've learned from what I have seen, it gives me a chance to organize myself, organize my thoughts,
deliberate, present, and come out in the most extraordinary way, as some might like to say. So I would say a lot of patience was taken on my part to execute that, what I had within me. Genius is indeed eternal patience, because you have to execute beautifully while you have waited and you have seen what was going on around you. And by laying wait like the lion that have laid wait for his prey, you patiently execute, and people look at you and they say, wow, you're a genius. Thank you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and being courageous enough to take the challenge. Now I'm going to show my third question. Never was anything great achieved without danger, by Niccolo Machiavelli. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Who would like to take the third question?
I'll give it a try.
Excellent.
Close your eyes, picture this. The night was dark. I was in this strange land, in a strange place, trying to get back to my hotel. But you need to understand something. My sense of direction is so bad, I would get lost from Nigani Avenue to Sovereign. So here I am in this strange place, this strange land, and I need to get back to my hotel. I zigged instead of zagged, and I was lost. Now, nothing that you achieve can be achieved without great danger. I am in the city of York, in London, and they have closed the gates. How, you might ask, am I going to get out? This is where the danger came in, because I am Jamaican, so I had to scale that fence. And as I'm going over that fence, I needed to make sure that none of the police saw me. That's the danger. And so I scaled the fence, got over on the other side of the city walls, and realized that if I had only zigged and gone left instead of zagged and gone right, I would have been standing in front of my hotel. But you know what? Had I done that, I would not have endured that danger, which led to such a great adventure. And that great adventure taught me that sometimes you need to get creative, you need to be brave, you need to do the very things that scare you in order to survive. So that's my advice to you. Sometimes you have to step out there. It may be something as simple as doing a table topics when the person is asking you to do it. But face your fear, face the challenge, because whatever he said, because I can't remember what it is, danger. What he said with danger, that. Back over to you. I'm totally not revitalized that way at all.
You did a great job. A great use of the vocal tone. I was definitely drawn in by the tone of your voice. Timer, do we have room for one more question or two? Timer? Are you there, timer?
I am. Did you hear me?
No, I did not. We have time left to do another question.
For one more.
Okay, excellent. All right. Okay. Renaissance can be described as a revival of or renewed interest in something. Tell me something you would renew from the past into today's culture. Who would like to take this question? Guess I'll choose someone.
I can.
Kesron Walters. Kesron Walters, would you like to take this question?
I can.
Excellent.
Renaissance can be described as a revival or renewal of something from the past.
Hold on a second.
As a child, I remember seeing sometimes you have to work from your own experience. As a young child growing up in the city of Castries, I remember seeing what was the masquerades. These characters, like a street theater, used to come out every Christmas to parade in front of homes. And sometimes the costuming was so terrifying that myself and my siblings would stay inside the entire Christmas, hiding away from these characters. It's much later in life, as an artist, I wanted to paint these characters, and I discovered that they were actually the plan, it emanated from something that happened at in the slave plantation, when the plantation owners allowed any form of gaiety. The slaves would revert to the traditions of Africa, and they'd put on the mask as a silent rebellion against those who sought to be the masters. So it was a new beginning for them. They were in a new world, and they secretly wore the mask, although it no longer meant a wedding tradition or birth tradition or even death tradition. It was a secret rebellion against those who sought to be the masters. And this tradition continued for years. I have been working on that series over many years, and I'm hoping to take an exhibition to England based on my Moondancer series, based on the lost masquerade tradition of St. Lucia, because in St. Lucia, it had disappeared. And it's my contribution to try to renew that street theater that has disappeared on the island of St. Lucia. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. I learned something about you today that I didn't know. So thank you once again. So thank you everyone for participating and being a part of this impromptu session. I'm very glad to be a part of with you guys today. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Very good. Round of applause. Did we do that? I don't think we did. Round of applause for Master Jerence Mokombi. Oh my God, I enjoyed that part. Who told you that you could not revitalize in your table topics? Yeah, I have experienced that some people gave you a good example of it, didn't they? Yes, I should maybe agree. So you can have a renaissance to your table topics and bring it to the next height. You can, yes, trust me, you can. But then I leave it to somebody, to the expert on her team to tell you more about the aspects of our meeting, of how it went. It's time for me to call back our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Johnny Ledler, who will conduct us in the evaluation portion of the meeting. Distinguished Toastmaster Johnny Ledler, Madam Jen.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Esther, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Evaluation, as stated, is the cornerstone and feedback of the Toastmasters experience. First, though, you need to know, were we on time? Madam Timer, may I have the times for the prepared speech as well as the table topics.
Our speakers spoke for 4 minutes and 6 minutes, 35 seconds. I'm sorry. Toastmaster Mary Bruce spoke for 6 minutes and 35 seconds. For our table topic speakers, Toastmaster Clyde Bowen spoke for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Toastmaster Karen spoke for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Toastmaster Shelley O'Connor, distinguished Toastmaster Shelley O'Connor spoke for 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And Toastmaster for 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, we're having a bit of technical difficulties today, so I was having a bit of problems hearing you. Let me just ask, does that mean that all of our table topics first qualify?
Well, it means that 3 of our 4 has qualified.
All right, so
Omar spoke for 2 minutes and 33 seconds. So he went over by 3 seconds.
okay, so our other speakers did qualify. What I'm going to ask is for you to look for our Sergeant at Arms in the chat. His name is Roger Harrell. You can see him as a co-host if you're in the participant screen. Privately message him your choice for the table topics winner via our chat. Moving along to our next speech evaluator. Okay, that would be me. Toastmaster Mary Bruce. Let me start by saying, I can see that you take feedback into account and you did attempt to revitalize the speech utilizing the feedback that was stated. You stood. That was one of the things that was suggested to allow us to be able to see your physical gestures. It was also suggested that you move according to what you were saying. And while it may not be at an advanced level, I could see it. I could see when you were talking about the beetle that was in your ear. I could see when you were talking about the doctor drilling down in there. How would I suggest that you make your speech better, incorporating what you have already incorporated? With time, your gestures will improve. You'll get more focused on what you're doing as it relates to your gestures over time. You mentioned some people in your speech. Now, while vocal variety was not one of the suggestions that were made for you to do, you did mention your son and you did mention the doctor. I would love to hear your impression. You spoke about your son and you spoke about your son answering, but you did it in the same voice. You spoke about the doctor. When I went to the doctor and he said, well, no more monkeys jumping on the bed, would be nice to hear in the actual voice. And for those who missed it, yes, I did make a nursery rhyme reference of we went to the doctor and the doctor said, which parallels me into your use of humor, which was absolutely on point. Now, humor is something that most people think is stand-up comedy. However, even though you haven't completed your level 1, you produce a humorous speech. Keep on incorporating your feedback, work a little more on your timing. Make sure that your device is not like this, but like this, so we can get to see more of you as you work on drilling in your ear like the doctor did. And I know that you will continue to grow from strength to strength. Back to you. Thank you, Madam Evaluator, for evaluating to motivate and hopefully revitalizing Toastmaster Bruce in choosing to move forward. Next to our virtual lecture, I will be calling Toastmaster Heidi, who will be doing an evaluation of our table topics.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Toastmaster Juven, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Let me start off by saying that you did a wonderful job with the table topic session. You were front and center of your screen. It was easy to see you. It was easy to understand you. You spoke clearly. I didn't see very many gestures from you, but that being said, you congratulated everybody on what they said. You showed them that you appreciated what they said in their table topics. You encouraged people to volunteer, and people actually did volunteer. So you must be very well liked, because not many people volunteer for table topics. So job well done on that. You did it a little bit differently at the suggestion of one of your volunteers, in that you asked your question first. That was rather different for table topics, and it worked out quite well. So great job for swinging into it and for revitalizing the whole table topic session and making it very different. You did a wonderful job. You were establishing eye contact, which I like. I was able to connect with you, to feel what you were saying. And I believe also that you were able you showed that you were understanding what everybody was saying. You didn't just brush them off at the end. So I think you did a very good job. I think you accomplished what the active listening that you were set out to do for your table topics. And I encourage you to continue with it and to keep on trying. You did seem a little bit nervous, but you overcame that and you were fantastic. So job well done.
Thank you, Toastmaster Heidi, for that evaluation segment. Next to the virtual space, Madam Gomery, did we revitalize our use of grammar?
All right. Now this meeting is about Renaissance, and Renaissance give you the perfect opportunity to do things a little different, to change things around. And you certainly took that opportunity as you went on today. So we got wonderful turns of phrases. I want to start with our guest speaker who gave us the phrase, experience sense of awe and sense of wonder. The imagery that's embedded in that phrase, I thought brought her meaning across. And then there's the triad that served to reinforce her reputation of greater light, greater creativity, greater hope, which is a nice way for us to remember the message. And I thought she did that really well. Toastmaster Francoise, when she spoke about her presentation, hit all the angles. Again, a very pointed description and turn of phrase. And Joni in speaking spoke about revitalizing her speech. So I love those turns of phrases. There are lots of others, but time will not permit. I want us to, as we're going along, to think about certain things and work on other aspects, one of which is Toastmaster Francoise, you said mature to the situation on hand. I would like to suggest that maybe it would have been better phrased. We would act more mature in the given situation. I think that would be a better way of phrasing it. John, you spoke about re-giving the speech. I would prefer redoing or representing the speech. Mary, you spoke about all of a sudden after a while. Which is it? Is it all of a sudden or is it after a while? You need to choose one. The two separate sets of timing can be a little bit of confusion. But you know, just swinging back, Toastmaster Clive gave us education is the kindling of a vessel, the kindling of a flame, which I thought was also a very, very nice phrase. And you did rise to the challenge. We have a whopping 15 use of the word of the day. Well done. Asha gave it to us once. Joni gave it to us 5. Diane gave us revitalization. It works just the same. Esha gave us 4, Heidi 1, Jovan 1. Well done. Keep up the good work. Back over to you, Madam Toastmaster of, sorry, General Evaluator of the Day.
Thank you, Madam Gomerian. Not time for Toastmaster just yet, as I also wanted to know, I counted in my head to make sure that it looks like an intended pause, how well we did as it relates to us. Toastmaster, issue the virtual.
So we are revitalizing all the pause words and all the clutches for this meeting. So hopefully for the next meeting, all the members can be transformed like a phoenix born from the ashes. So to begin, we have Marcella sent Homer, at, will, and you know. The General Evaluator, Joni Ledio, Mary Bruce, it, so. Forgive me, I will pronounce your name as Toastmaster Makombi, or I will have to add my name to the account list. Fly Brown, Wee, and Karen Kennedy, Alvin St. Uma, and to end it off, I was so disappointed. I thought we would not add one more person to the list. We have our grammarian with
Thank you, our counter, for paying such detailed attention, showing your active listening skills as our counter today. And by the way, it's because I thought nobody else would do and I didn't want it to not have a report. My R's were intentional, but the ones that were unintentional. Overall, Madam Timer, may I please have the final?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Now I'm happy to say that the meeting began at exactly 5 p.m. Our Sergeant at Arms used his time wisely. He was very much revitalized and ready to make sure that time factor was taken into consideration. Spoke for 52 seconds. And our President, Toastmaster Marcella, went on to speak with us within her 8-minute time frame. Our introduction of the Toastmaster of the day made sure that she was still within the time frame, as she had about 16 seconds remaining to clock her 8 minutes. Toastmaster Esther Germany, in her opening remarks, spoke for 3 minutes and 25 seconds. The remainder of the meeting was on time until we lost some time in between the prepared speeches as we tried to reach out to our second speaker. We are way ahead of our time, and of such, being the timekeeper, I want to make sure that we're within time. But just to inform you that all of our evaluators have so far spoken within time. That is my report. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Heimer. Overall, statistics, let me commend you on having a wonderful renaissance to the first meeting of the year. Our Art Talk speaker gave us some pointers and tips as it relates to how to go about evolving while maintaining human experience and spirit. Our Toastmaster of the day so aptly led us through, including the sharing of the picture of book, as well as the sharing of information that we would need, as well as soothing music to get us by when Murphy, as usual, steps in. As you know, we cannot be on this space without having a representation of say. What would I suggest that we do better moving forward? Well, for one, everyone can come in and test beforehand. There are different features, apps, and allocations allowed on the platform that allow us to do things. For example, only sharing a portion of the screen so we don't have to see all of the app. For the case of our table topics master, love your presentation and your use of quotes. However, I would suggest stopping them because the point of table topics is thinking on your feet. And what happens when you're showing it before everyone is they get the chance to think because we can read and see it. And the point is for us to think on our feet. It's impromptu speaking. So we want to take away the additional information as quickly as possible to give people time to think on your feet. However, I like the fact that you came prepared and your use of Renaissance painters. For those who missed it, all of the quotes were from Renaissance painters, so we made sure he took it to us in that respect to stay in the day. Most persons who are on a mobile device are using it in this manner. When you do this in the same way that there is a narrow space, that's how we see you on the platform. My suggestion, turn the phone horizontally. If you do that, we get a wider space of expression. We get to see more of you, and it allows for a wider framing that allows for us to be better able to see your gestures and doesn't keep you confined. So the difference doesn't keep you confined in that little narrow box. Overall, platform systems, I enjoyed it. All our functionaries did their role quite excellently. And though Murphy showed up to make me have to suggest trying to come on at least 15 minutes before to test your devices, especially if you have a role and function. Other than that, great meeting. Forward to after our Renaissance revitalization. Everyone showing up on the 30th to be a part of the conference. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you very much for your feedback. I trust that everyone took good notes of it, as it also clues for the Renaissance in 2023. Things that you can do differently, things that you can renew too. You know, the very things that we do in Toastmasters. On the rules, we can put it another way. We can do it to another level. Toastmasters is almost the time for me to leave you. Can you believe it? The joy is about to end. Oh, well, it so happened. But I can't leave you without sharing some piece of art of the Renaissance. And what I mean by that is our table topic master. He already lead us on the way at one point. Okay, and then here it is. Remember that time when he talked about Michelangelo? You know this piece, don't you? Chapter 16. He's part of the icon of the Renaissance. And you also have that other one. Can anyone guess? When you say it, you say, ah. Let me hear you say the ha. Yeah? No? The Mona Lisa, La Joconde, as we say in French. Mona Lisa. By the way, if you go to the Louvre, you can go and see her. She will still be smiling at you. Don't tell her, okay? All right. So those were some icons from the Renaissance, the art. But for Toastmasters, in 2023, if you have to renew in arts, maybe you don't have to go so far. Probably you can go and admire a piece of art from our very own painters in here. I'm thinking about the moonwalker. You know what I mean? No, you can see him, you can see the painter who has done that, our dear Toastmaster Alvin Settler. You know him, right? Maybe you can be inspired. I believe he's maybe not the only painter right here, but maybe you can be inspired by his art and then renew in painting. If you don't renew, probably you can stop painting. Huh, who knows? You know, it's all about Renaissance, doing new things. And that time, that period was really rich. And I just wish you to continue enriching, renewing to all the things that you wanted to do. And bear in mind those clues that I shared with you, that I cannot give you some pointers for you to renew, to have that renaissance in 2023. Should it be the very first one with all the rules in Toastmasters? We saw it with the timer, grammarian, appointers. And the second one, the reading. Remember the book, Renaissance of your life. No, Renaissance, your personal renaissance. Bear with me, Dr. Diane Dreher. It's a renaissance to your personal renaissance. And then the third one was about being creative. And then we talked about also the arts, and your table topics was one of them as well, as we learn. So fellow Toastmasters, it's been a pleasure guiding you through the meeting, and I do hope you will choose creativity upon reactivity. And it's the very time for me to give the lecture back to Madam President of the club, Madam Marcella Santoma. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Esther. It was a pleasure having you as our Toastmaster of the evening. It was wonderful, great job as usual. Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for all the reminders and talking about the artists and the Renaissance. Wonderful, wonderful job. Okay, Toastmasters. Just a minute. Yes. Also, thank you so much, Dr. Diane Dreher, for being our top guest this evening, reminding us of changes, how things can change, and how we could become creative, you know, and being creative and being even greater, becoming creative in, you know, in our sense of the word. Thank you so much for everything that you remind us of this evening. We enjoyed your speech and your presentation. It was wonderful. Okay. We'd like to, Toastmaster Roger, are you ready with the awards?
Yes, I am ready. So, in light of our theme, Renaissance 2023, let us now award our best table topic speaker for today. Just give me a moment. Right. So,
and the winner is?
So our winner for today is Clive. Everybody, please give Mr. Bowen a round of applause.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Right. And I just have one special announcement to make. In light that we have our social media pages up, we will add Clive Bowen's certificate to the Instagram and Facebook pages that we have now. So if that's one way of doing the Renaissance properly, I think everybody should give a round of applause to this. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Roger. And yes, Toastmaster Roger, Toastmaster Alvin Sentoma, and I sat through a meeting where he came over to our house and we got the pages going, and now our pages are up, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you, Toastmaster Roger, for a wonderful job. And at this point, I'd like to call our guests or Toastmasters to speak on the experience this evening. Is our AD Walters? Yes, AD Kezran Walters. Would you like to say something now that we start in our new year?
Thank you, President Marcella. It's good to be here with you guys at the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club another evening for a great meeting. I want to commend you on another excellently done meeting. You guys ticked all the boxes this afternoon, as is expected, for a great start to 2023. And I just want to commend you and wish you the best as you continue to blaze the trail of excellence in Area 15. I look forward to the speech contest and the contestants from the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club coming forward to the area contest in February. So have a great evening, everyone, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I would also like to say that our club contest will be held on January 30th, and we're still hoping that the members would sign up. We're looking for participants. So there you go. Members, please sign up for the contest. I'm sure Toastmaster Joni will be calling one or two of our members and hoping that they can participate in the contest on the 30th. We're looking forward to this contest. Yes. Okay. Anyone else would like to say a few words? Carol Lilia.
Yes, President. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Very interesting, informative meeting, and I like the choice of words, word of the day, as well as the theme, Renaissance. And it's very good to revitalize a new year, to look at new goals, to see how many projects we can accomplish, how many awards we can get. And I commend and recommend all of us as Toastmasters to go after our past projects and give our clubs points. Back to you, President.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam President, may I?
Yes, like we're not just about
I wanted to catch the moment before Dr. Treher left, and she just logged off. I think she just left. Anyway, I wanted to thank her for her presentation and to say that I really, well, ever since I was a child, I always liked to play with words, and I always wrote them down. When I read a book, I would write words down and see how I can manipulate them. So when she used creative versus reactive, you see that all the letters are the same indeed. And some others I've written over the years. One of them is impossible. By putting an inverted comma after the I, you make it I'm possible rather than impossible. And one more, God is nowhere. Some children were writing on the chalkboard at school and they wrote, God is nowhere. And the chaplain went to the front and just moved the word over. God is now here by moving the W over from the where. He made now here. God is now here. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this meeting too. And if I may just share an insight on table topics. I believe that this is what Toastmasters International recommends too. And if in the contest is carried out this way, if you call on an individual before you name the topic, before you state the topic, then everybody else stops listening. And the person you call will listen for the question or the prompt and then speak. But when you throw the topic out, nobody knows who is going to be called. And so that's a way to get everybody to weigh in on it, even if everybody doesn't get to speak. And that's why I thought I should say, what is the topic? What is the question? What is the prompt? Before anyone was called. We can think of, now there's no one way to do a table topic, but that's one way. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bowen. Thanks. Toastmaster Heidi. What was your experience like this evening?
It was great. I was a little bit late because I had a mishap at work. So I joined while driving. And then when I got home, I was able to convert over to my iPad. But it was a great experience. I really did enjoy it, you know, and everybody seemed to jump on board and volunteer. And yes, there was a little bit of a mishap with the speech and we couldn't hear one of the speakers. But overall, it was a fantastic meeting. So job well done. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome, Toastmaster Heidi. Thanks. Toastmaster Karen Kennedy.
Yes, good evening again, everyone. I truly enjoyed the meeting. It's actually, I must say, my first attentive meeting. I have paid attention to this meeting very much. And as a member, I vow to pursue my path and get going because I know, I realize Joni Lidlaw, she doesn't give you a pass, you know? So you have to get going with your projects. So definitely you'll see me on board for this year and executing what I intend to do. Thank you. But the meeting was great. I enjoyed the meeting this evening.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing those creative and humorous speeches from you this year. So, great job. Okay, Toastmaster Yashir.
Yes.
Yes, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, this meeting was quite lovely. I enjoyed the experience and I especially loved the table topic, how it went about. It was kind of spontaneous, so it wasn't like the usual thing. And even though it went against the normal thinking on top of your head, you had an interesting speech. So this was very delightful for me. I especially love the aspect of, well, I was trying to remember the person's name. It's not coming to my head, but the way she captivated in this speech when she began with that kind of change of tone and vocal variety and gave the story, I really love that. Overall, excellent meeting.
Thank you. I think you meant Toastmaster Shellyan, distinguished Toastmaster Shellyan O'Connor.
That is correct.
Right. Awesome. Yes. So, yes, Toastmasters and guests, at this point, I'd like to say that the meeting is adjourned. The meeting